back as seriously as in defeat.
Are you afraid your coach is taking you to a land of no return?
I'm a Chelsea fan to the very core, and I want to categorically tell everyone in the studio that Maresca has offered his best to Chelsea, and everybody has seen it.
Or maybe that your star player is just not good enough and you want him out.
Honestly, I thought I'd seen it all over the years, but I never seen it. You can never make it.
Then join us in Diamond Fan Zone every Friday from 7 p.m. where you grab the chance to rant and banter on radio. Diamond Fan Zone, giving the fans their voice.
Good evening, sport fans, and it's time for Diamond Sport Friend Zone on your shiny Supreme radio station. We're excited, not minding what happened on Wednesday night, and we're here to talk about everything that has to do with sport. We also have a game coming up. We know it seems like our birthright. Yes, we are going to play it again, and again we are going to find a way to win it. It's the bronze medal. It seems to not mean anything again, but it means a lot. We have to take everything, anything, away from the African Cup of Nations. We talk about that centered around our discussion, but also we not leave what is happening in terms of world football, global football, European football in particular. Do not forget that the transfer window is still open. Manchester City right now are doing business. When I mean business, I mean business. There has been 3 straight transfer window, and it's business back to back to back consecutively. We give you the update on that front. For Chelsea, we know they've sacked their manager, Enzo Maresca. January 1, that's his own Happy New Year gift, no problem. Manchester United, Real Madrid, and Arsenal. We talk about every one of them. We're looking critically today also, if time permits, at the English Premier League table. Arsenal 6 points ahead. What do we think will happen? They've been a year. Arsenal were 7 points ahead, I think, in February. They didn't win it. Could this finally be the year? $1 million question. My name is Adeyemi Adewale. The guys are seated with me, Mutheu Yusuf, my brother, popularly known as Turaro, also returning for the first time this year, is my brother, Damilola. Head all the Christmas gifts. Hope you have brought a lot for us in the studio. You can also join our conversation. 0913-655-6952. 0913-655-6952. WhatsApp is 0913-655-6864. 0913-655-6864. My name is Adeyemi Adewale. Let's get a bit of news update about what is happening. Top things that's happening this week, during the week. Unfortunately, we have to talk about it. If you're just waking up, let's say you slept on Monday and you're waking up on Friday, God forbid, or you're not just, you went to a place where there's no internet, just out of what is happening. The Super Eagles of Nigeria, they are currently, as we speak, challenging for the 3rd place. That's because they lost against Morocco in the semi-final. Goalless it ended on penalties. And you know what? Nwambali saved, Samuel Chukwueze does his thing. And also you have Bruno Imachi doing his own beat also. Bono saving that. And Nigeria, finally, would not make the African Cup of Nations final. It is Senegal and also host Morocco who will be in the final on Sunday. Nigeria will be playing tomorrow, 5 p.m. against Egypt for the 3rd place encounter. The Egyptian coach said it today that we started this AFCON journey with Nigeria. We are ending it with Nigeria. We hope to end with a win. But on this side, Nigerians, we want to claim that prayer. Let's also tell you a bit about what is happening in terms of the transfer window. Manchester City, the report we're getting today is the fact that Mark Gill, that boy that Liverpool already signed, did his medical, as reportedly right now on his way to Manchester City. They have agreed with the player. They've agreed with the club side. A friend of mine was looking at the breakdown of the reported amount that Mark Gill will be receiving. And that friend said, just pay me that in a year. That's all I ask for. That's what Manchester City had to promise him to tempt him away that much. So, and they've also signed Semenyo. Out of all the big guns in the Premier League, Manchester City, doing business. There are 115 charges. Are you asking question? No reporters at today. $1 million question, guys. Good evening. Let me welcome you guys to the show. How are you feeling? I see Sturaru just shaking his head when I talk about the 115 charges for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Should we start questioning the judiciary of the United Kingdom?
Good evening, Yemi. Good evening to the listeners out there.
Good evening.
It is always a great feeling to be back on the show.
It's always a great feeling to have you too.
Well, I think Manchester City, when it comes to the dealings at Manchester City, and it is something the Yorubas they will describe as Opoloni Taba debut Kafu. So, as they say, I think succinctly, it's just in English. I think it's best translated as touch and go, because I believe at Manchester City, a whole lot of things that have come and gone. You talk about what happened with Wolves, with Everton. All of these teams, at one time or the other, they have suffered from cases from the cases that had to do with transfer of players and a whole lot of things like that. At the time, Everton some points were deducted from Everton. I think Nottingham Forest too at the time. So and all of those cases happened after Manchester City had been levied with 115 charges, which I believe the FA are not doing enough to actually pursue the case to a reasonable extent. But then it is what it is, and at this moment, they have the wherewithal, the luxury to fork out a whole lot of money to bring out.
No, you don't use the F word on radio.
No, that's not F word. FORK, and it's correct. I think it is allowed. FORK. So to splash out a whole lot of money like that. So they brought in Semenyo. Now they are bringing in Maguire. As at this particular period of time, I do not think a whole lot of teams in the Premier League have that wherewithal to actually compete with them. I think the only reason they have been able to do that is because the all of these cases hanging over them, hanging on their neck, have not been pursued to a reasonable extent. Because I believe if the FA are pursuing this case, a 115 charges on you is enough to deal with.
That's not even our discussion for today. I just had to go there. You want to add something, Damiola, on this charges thing?
I will just wait for the final say,
because we are waiting for it. They told us, I think, sometime beginning of this season. We're in January right now, and we've not heard anything.
Exactly. This thing has
at
been
some
going
point
on
they
for
told
a long
us
time.
March last year.
Yes.
They told us March last year, beginning of this season. This is 2026.
So everybody should be tired of all this drama. We just wait for anything they want to
let's talk about the Super Eagles. Let's start from there. We'll come back to Manchester City and the big games that is happening in Europe. Quickly, let's look at the Super Eagles of Nigeria, guys. That game against Morocco. What do you guys feel? What are you feeling? Let's talk. Let's just have the discussion. Now we know we'll not be winning the AFCON. And we'll not be going to the final. But we have the third place as consolation. What are you feeling? Do you have anybody you're blaming? Are you angry with Samuel Chukwueze? Who do you blame for us not getting to the final? A lot of Nigerians have looked at the coach and says, you're not making your substitutions when you should be making them. Samuel Chukwueze, what are you playing? Is that a penalty? When the coach has responded that he has been the best penalty taker in training, that in about 400 penalty kicks taken in training, that he kept the statistics. Samuel Chukwueze did not miss anything. He's the best penalty taker in training. But on the pitch of play, is the worst that we saw. So, guys, quickly, let's talk about that briefly before we go in deeper into the Super Eagles discussion. Who do you have to blame? The coach? Who are you angry about? What's your own feeling after knowing that we didn't get through to the final?
Actually, I will just put my blame on the coach. I've been saying it for a long time now, since that match. I've been saying, everybody I met, I said, the fault is for me from the coach. Because I checked the pre-match conference. He was saying something like he felt his players are tired. Going to the match, he saw Moroccans like he's going to come with a low block. They are not going to come out, and probably they will get a win from that match. So I look at
that. Feel there was no confidence even before the game.
That was the beginning of the problem, because looking at the Super Eagles team for that competition, they've been exciting, and that's because their major strength has been the attack. They've been scoring goals, and you coming in that game with a 4-4-2 diamond, telling them that you want to keep a low block, I think that's the first mistake. I thought it would be a what's it called, mind game. I thought it was a mind game. But coming to the match, I saw that a lot our strikers, most of them are isolated up front, giving those Moroccan defenders just to cluster around them and receive all the second balls. So I felt the coach should shoulder a lot of responsibility.
And you think he should be blamed? Quickly.
Like we do say, everything comes back to the table of the manager. But then I want to cut him some slack, because I believe since the start of the tournament, we actually started the tournament with the 4-4-2 diamond formation from the first to the semi-final. So I do not want to blame him on that part. But then, like he said, at the time, the coach, maybe he was trying to confuse Nigerians. Maybe he was trying to confuse the opponents, that he didn't even know what he was going to, play against Morocco. But then the match that I saw, even from the blast of the whistle, I didn't see the Super Eagles as a team that wanted to defend. But then the situation of things led to that. The Moroccans were coming from
the question is, who do you think? Who are you blaming? What's your own opinion?
Well, in situations like this, I do not like to blame people. But then I just cannot look past what Samuel Chukwueze did, because that penalty, for me, I think it was the turning point. And I think in that penalty, I didn't see any intentionality, no professionalism in that penalty. I mean, even a semi-professional footballer wouldn't have kicked the ball like that. Yes, he wasn't the only one that lost the penalty. Bruno Onyemaechi also lost, but not so many people are even talking about him, because, of course, you can see the intentionality there. I mean, it was very, very easy for Yasin Bono to deal with that penalty. I mean, at that level, you just have to be serious. Even if you are going to lose a penalty, apply the force. Let the force be there. If you are not applying the forces, let's see the techniques in there. I've seen Pilo. I've seen a whole lot of good penalty kickers. They do not kick like that, even when they are not applying forces. They make sure that where they are putting that ball, even if you are going to save it, it will be very, very difficult. In the 2006 World Cup final, what Zidane did, even though I have not seen a player who have done that since that time, in a World Cup final, he tried the Panenka, and you could see the technique. Even if the ball hadn't hit the bar and Yalugi Buffon was fortunate to save it, you could see in that penalty that there was actually a technique.
There was a plan.
There was a plan. He knew what he wanted to do. I mean, I didn't see I didn't see a player who is serious in Samuel Chukwueze. And that's why I'm surprised. Very disappointed.
I'm surprised because both of you have not spoken about the referee. This is something that Victor Osimhen had to talk about after the game. Let's listen to him.
I think me and my teammate, we are all professional, but it's disappointing, it's hurting, because then we have to wait for more years to try to qualify again for the AFCON and try to prove a point. But to be honest with you, game was nothing to write home about in terms of the officiating. It was that bad. But I think for me, I have to say a very big congratulations to the Moroccans, and also I'm proud of my team for the kind of fight we put up against a very good quality side, and also playing in front of the thousands of their fans. I think for me, moving forward now, I think there is more greater things lies ahead. But to be honest with you, the whole sport is sad, disappointing, because I believe we could have get this trophy, but we just keep it moving.
Do you also think the officiating was poor? Because I've spoken to some Nigerians who feel he could have given a penalty against Nigeria with Calvin Bassey handling the ball with his hand inside the box. And guess what? Yes, I do not think that's a penalty, because when you look at the laws, I don't think it's a penalty according to the law book from IFAB. But if we claim he's petty, he could have given that, and that game would not get into penalties.
Well, I think to decide a football match, especially by the referee, you do not even have to award a penalty. You do not even have to cancel a goal. The only thing a referee needs to do in a football match to actually favor, so to say, to a particular side is to, give all the 50-50s, all the duels, award it to the particular opponent against the other opponent. I think that is enough to decide a football match. In any football match, if the referee, has it at the back of his mind that in this match, every 50.
Do you think he did that?
That's what he did, because at the moment, Calvin Bassey was actually he went to a duel. He won the ball very cleanly, back to the opponent. The opponent was actually dragging his clothes, and at that moment, he was awarded a foul was awarded against him. And in that moment, the referee was quick to hand him a yellow card. In that moment, I do not think I've ever seen something like that. Even if you are coming into a match full of confidence, immediately witness something like that, every morale that is in you die down immediately. So I feel in that moment that is the turning point. If we are talking about what happened in the match proper, and we have situations like that. There was a certain one that included Ademola Lookman too. I mean, that involved Ademola Lookman too. Things like that actually, send cold water into your spine, and there is no way you can, contest in such situation and come out victorious.
I think I support him 100%. The ref decision in that game.
Both of you didn't mention the ref before I said you see.
No, because we were actually discussing the penalty. That's what we said.
We go into the Super
Eagles penalty fully. You mentioned the penalty, so our discussion was about the penalty.
Believe me, if officiating could be that bad, it affects the player mentality throughout the game. So you also think the officiating was bad?
Yeah, it was very even to the blind. It was very, very.
Even those people that doesn't watch ball, even females.
It is very, very obvious. I mean, he won the ball very, very cleanly, and at that point, a foul was awarded against him, and he was quick to remove a yellow card for him. I mean, that is even nonsensical. It is something that we shouldn't be having in a CAF organized tournament, especially when African football have received a whole lot of.
We've had a lot of reactions to this, and part of those reactions are those that have asked questions. Some have called for the sack of Eric Chell. Let's hear what Ndidi has to say today in the press conference.
This team I am very proud of. They do very well. They don't do great things in this competition, and it's been amazing. For continuity, I feel like they should keep the coach because he's a wonderful manager. I'll say it in front of everyone for free. The only thing we will need for this team now continuity. Make we not try to change things now because we not go final. Now just say make we focus. There's so many competitions ahead, so many games ahead. Make we just focus on the team right now because this set of players I am proud of.
So that's Wilfred Ndidi. Pride of the players. Do not sack Eric Chell. You support that?
100%. I think I like the fact that Super Eagles are playing with. We can see a game style. We can see improvements from what we saw in the qualifiers. I think we should just give him the time to work on this team. And I believe with him at the end, Super Eagles will be great.
So,
well, I think everyone who is associated with Nigerian football or even has an infinitesimal of interest in Nigerian football will actually support not sacking Eric Chell. But if you look at it, before he was appointed, what was the goal? What was the assignment in front of him? And that assignment, did he achieve it? Maybe, we have conflicting reports. Some are saying the objective in front of him was to get the Super Eagles to the semi-finals of the AFCON. Some are saying the objective was to get the Super Eagles to the final of AFCON. Either of the two, I think let's even agree with, because of course I think the most reliable of sources are saying the final of the AFCON.
What I know that Aminu Magari, or what's his name, the NFF president, told us ahead of this AFCON is that Eric Chell's objective is getting that final. Just like what they gave to Pestero.
But then
they didn't tell him to win it.
That was after he was announced. I think before he was announced, before he was appointed, there were reports that his target was to get Nigeria qualified for the World Cup. And after then was to get the Super Eagles to the AFCON.
I don't think. We've qualified for the AFCON before him.
That's what I said. I said get Nigeria to the World Cup and get the Super Eagles. Get the team to the semi-final of the AFCON.
No, I don't think they will set a target of the AFCON. Why they were signing your contract? As at then, they will speak about the AFCON when you get closer to the AFCON. No, that's what I think. Because
from the last time,
the major objective in its hands when he was appointed, I think January 27, 2025, was the World Cup. So what everybody was talking about then was get us to the World Cup. Then when we now lost the World Cup, then we have preparations. And do not forget, his very first job, was the Chan Eagles.
Well,
which ended in a woeful way.
I actually want us to...
Today, I went back to the statement of the NFF. Well, they were quoted and said his very first job, the very first assignment, was taking over the Chan Eagles in August. Then, the World Cup qualifier. Then, the AFCON. And I'm sorry, he has failed the three.
Yeah, I mean,
and the big question is football a you play well-oriented game or result-oriented game?
Well, of course, football is a result-oriented game, but then I still want to cut him.
So an Nigerian's not being emotional to say let's stop it.
That's not it. That's not it. I want to understand. I want to look at it from the point of those who are saying we shouldn't sack him, because of course at the time, even when Jose Peseiro got us to the final at the last AFCON, I mean a whole lot of us were saying he should be sacked. At the end of the day, he was sacked. So for me, I think what he did with the team at the AFCON, even the last time we got to the final, I do not think we were that good. Yes, we crashed out in the semi-final this time, but of course, even the greatest of teams, you need a bit of luck, to be where you want to be. I would want to cut him some slack and say maybe this time around it was only unfortunate because of course the Nigeria, the Super Eagles that I saw in the past few weeks, I do not think it's been a long time that I have seen a team like that. And then this guy is just getting started with this team.
You want to add something?
He's just 2 years into
a year.
I mean, second year into the contract, so I feel he can actually do a lot with this team if he's allowed to actually take over this team properly.
You want to add something?
Just like he said, that's the major reason why a lot of people are saying it should not be sacked, because we can see the improvement. Super Eagles are playing with the fluidity is even in the team is even making sense. Like everybody's like, when was the last time we see the Super Eagles play like this? So I think maybe it's a good way to start and be like, let us just stay with him, not like Manchester United.
My own opinion is simple. Whether you keep him, yes, he has done well. But my own is we don't judge football based on playing well. And I mean, we did well against Algeria. That was the game that impressed me the most. But playing against Tanzania, playing against Uganda, even Tunisia, I'm sorry, I saw them. Yes, they might be ranked before this AFCON. But all Nigerians expect us to play well against Tunisia because we have better players. In fact, their best player in terms of Adewale, I think he's playing for Burnley. Yes, I'm sorry. I don't think he gets into our first team if he's a Super Eagles player. So what am I saying? For all those that we clamor and we said they played well about, except for Algeria, that impressed me so much.
We played against people that are even lesser during the qualifiers. We saw what we played.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying now. My point is, I'm not taking anything away from Eric Chow. He's done well and amazing. They play good football. I enjoyed it too. So if some coaches have come in the past and they've not let the Super Eagles play good football against lesser team, that does not mean that it should be the criteria that we should be judging our own Super Eagles, right?
This thing, I think,
and the biggest team we are going to be facing at the AFCON. Let me land. The biggest thing we are going to be facing at the AFCON is Morocco. Yes, we might talk about the refereeing. Were we outplayed?
Yes.
Yes, we were outplayed. We had just 2 shots totally in the game.
One of the reasons
one shot on target
is the referee.
One shot on target. I'm sorry, we might talk about the 50-50 that the referee did. Without some of his mistakes, I also feel, yes, he did some things wrong. I do not think the Super Eagles had a hold of the game, even without the referee. That's why it's difficult to make a case for the Super Eagles. So if we keep him, yes, you can keep him under microscope. That's what I would say. But if they also sack him, I can understand because his objectives
are we not
met.
Are we not looking over ourselves?
At times it's really fast spent. Don't let us dwell on this. That game against Egypt, can we win that game?
Of course.
Just let us just go back to the memory lane. I think top place is our team, and I believe we should do better. And judging from the way we've been playing, if we go back to our previous formation mode of playing, I believe we have a chance against Egypt.
We have a chance against Egypt. You also believe we have a chance against Egypt?
Of course, the Egypt that I've seen in this tournament, I do not think they are not beatable. Judging by what the Super Eagles have done before the Morocco encounter, I think, except of course for Morocco in this tournament, I do not think we have a team that has played better than Nigeria. Maybe in some exception, maybe Cote d'Ivoire. Maybe Cote d'Ivoire. I do not even Senegal for me. Yes, they are where they are today. Kudos to them, but I do not think they have played the best of football in this.
Let's throw the phone line open. 0913-655-6952. That's the number to call. WhatsApp is 0913-655-6864. What's your feeling about the Super Eagles game against Morocco, the Super Eagles game against Egypt coming up tomorrow? Do you think the referee did us wayo like they say on the streets, or you think otherwise? Who would you blame for the fact that we failed to defeat Morocco? And the most important question, would you sack Eric Chell, or you think he deserves to stay? as the Super Eagles coach. Let's talk about the Manchester derby. But before that, let's give you some of the fixtures of the English Premier League game coming up tomorrow. Manchester United, 1:30 p.m. Nigerian time. They're playing host to Manchester City. Chelsea host Brentford at Stamford Bridge. Leeds United, Fulham. Liverpool, Burnley. Sunderland, Crystal Palace. Tottenham Hotspur, West Ham. Nottingham Forest at home to Arsenal. Now, quickly, on Sunday, there are some games also coming up on Sunday. Wolves playing against Newcastle. Aston Villa playing against Everton at home. Let's talk about that big one coming up tomorrow. It's Manchester United playing against Manchester City. It is a derby. And guess what? It's a derby without Ruben Amorim as the coach of Manchester United. But the phone line is open. 0913-655-6952. 0913-655-6952. Hello, good evening. Your name and where you're calling from?
Good evening. My name is Ali.
Aliu, good evening to you. Quickly, Aliu, share your contribution with us.
On the Super Eagle coach, I think they should pick him. If we check our history, when the Buffy Joe won us our first trophy then, it was not his first year that he won the trophy. And on Man U and Man City, that one is not a big match again. I mean, Man U fans, or the match is not a big match anymore. It's just like a lion against the cat.
The derby.
That's the match.
That's the Manchester derby.
It's not a derby anymore. That's not a derby anymore.
Wow.
Because to be a Man U of 10, I will have the confidence that Man U will win. But that's the match coming up. I've given it to Man City already. Thank you very much.
Given it to Manchester City already. Do you think Michael Carrick, the Manchester United coach, can he pull up any surprises?
Of course, yes. He's just coming in, and he want to stake a claim as one of the club legends, and he's played in this derby before. He understands the atmosphere. He knows that pedigree and is at stake, and relevance is at stake in the Manchester derby. But then, like the last scholar said, over the years, the Manchester derby has been a one-way traffic, and most times Manchester City are always coming on top. But then you cannot ignore the history of the derby. You cannot ignore the history of Manchester United.
You think they stand a chance?
I think it will be a difficult call for anyone to say Manchester United stand a chance. The only reason why I will be giving them maybe a 20% chance is because of the manager bounce. Michael Carrick is just coming in. Maybe the adrenaline in his boys will be up to the highest level, and they will want to give the coach a kind of a proper welcome into the team. So aside that, I do not think they stand a chance in that debut. Compare the team, compare the players in each team. I do not think they stand a chance at all.
Damilola.
I think I will give them a chance because looking at Manchester United against big team, even if they are going to lose, they used to put on a fight. Like the spirit is always there.
Someone will say that's under Amorim.
They haven't played so many matches after Amorim.
Even before Amorim, like their big fixtures, they are always in that mood. Like even if they are playing like below par, normal game.
If I ask you your prediction, you are Octopus. You are giving Manchester United a chance. What would be your prediction?
I'm not thinking right now because I'm an Aston fan. So I'm not with my head right now. I'm just with my heart. So, but judging by, I'm not saying on the paper, Manchester City is the favorite. But looking at the way Manchester United has always been giving their all with derby, big fixtures, I think they have a chance. And also with the new manager coming, that might ignite some passion in those players. And I believe this comes to the desire of the players.
Comes to the desire of the players. Good evening. Your name and where you are calling from?
Hello, good evening. My name is John.
John. Calling from Irule. Good evening to you, John.
Good evening. Regards about what you people are discussing about our coach. I would like Nigeria to give the man a chance. If we are looking at our Super Eagles, they are now having a better. They are now playing a better football more than before. That's what I've seen about the man. About the man changing substitution is questionable. Like Chukwueze that just entered 3 minutes before ending of the match. now be the one to play penalty. Definitely, the man might be feeling bad because of he did not start the game or did not bring him in earlier. So the man has to do a lot of work about his changes.
Thank you very much.
Manchester United, I don't really, like the last caller said, I don't really pay attention in Manchester anymore because they are already always disappointing us.
Always disappointing you. Sorry. The Manchester United fans this evening, sorry. On behalf of your team. Let's quickly go on this quick commercial break. We'll come back from the commercial break. We're not done with our conversation. Manchester United are not the only ones sacking coaches with poor result. Have you seen a team? Los Blancos. Quick commercial break. We'll be back.
For fast relief of cold pain, fever and headache. Caraole.
Sọ fún ẹ̀kọ́ ní òtútù yìí bàtà rẹ̀ o kí wọ́n kọ́ lùgbọ́ wọ́n tán. Caraole ti dé o. Báwọlé ní fẹ́rẹ̀ àkọwọ́lẹ̀ ń tẹ̀ gan. Koríko tẹ́lẹ̀ bá ti tẹ̀ òtún gbérí mọ́. Ìdè Caraole lúbúlúbú funfun pẹ̀lú ìrúkù sarajọ mẹ́ra gágágá. Àjàká kò tí sọkọ fún ẹ̀kọ́ ní òtútù yìí bàtà rẹ̀ lágọ̀ọ́ ara. Kàṣàkàṣà knockout agbára ju agbára lọ. Ìdè Caraole jagunla bí olùgbòǹgbò gàjàtọ̀ ara jà tó kìtìlẹ̀. Ẹgbẹ́ ìlú akẹ́gbà. To Yield Pharmaceutical Industries Limited. Àwọn tó lórúkọ tó ṣe é gbẹ́kẹ̀lé níbi ká gbóògùn òyìnbó ló ṣe é. Bára rẹ̀ ò bá yá lẹ́yìn ọjọ́ mẹ́ta. Má ṣàtẹ̀rà o, kàn sí dókítà rẹ̀.
Welcome back from that commercial break. Phone line is still open. You can call into the studio and also send your messages on WhatsApp. Number to call is 0913-655-6952. WhatsApp is 0913-655-6864. 0913-655-6864. Let's take this call. Hello, good evening. Your name and where you're calling from?
My name is Olalekun, calling from Mokwa.
Olalekun from Mokwa. Good evening to you, Olalekun. Quickly, share your contribution.
My contribution, I want to talk about the Super Eagles performance this particular time. I want to urge Nigerians to bear with the national coach.
Bear with him.
He has done a fantastic job.
He has done a fantastic job.
You will agree with me. For the matches played so far, he scored 14 goals and conceded only 4. That is fantastic. It's been long to have seen the performance of Super Eagles like this. So they should not be talking of packing him now. We should give him enough time. He has formed a formidable team. The only match they play that maybe they play below expectation is this last one. And I strongly believe it has to do with them in the Moluccan. Because that stadium was at full anything you can think of that. The previous matches, the stadium has not been to that capacity. So I strongly believe that I have the other school.
Thank you.
But play against the old team on that day.
Thank you.
So they did the nice job. Penalty shootout is a game of luck. Them have played for 120 minutes without conceding any. That's my contribution.
Thank you very much for your contribution. Penalty kick-out is a game of luck. Good evening, Sport Pundit. The referee should not be solely blamed for the Super Eagles' inability to win the match. On that day, most of the players played below their strength. 2 shots in the match was nothing to write home about. We should accept the result as good sportsmen and stop blaming the referee. Mr. Samuel from Airport Road. Thank you very much, Mr. Samuel, for your contribution. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Your name and where you're calling from?
My name is Olushola from Upper Gakombi.
Olushola from Upper Gakombi. Quickly, share your contribution, Olushola.
My own contribution goes to our match against Morocco. Our players did well. Honestly speaking, it was the decision of the referee that killed their morale on that very day. There's no way you are playing the host country Hello.
I can hear you. Go ahead.
No way you are playing with post. Look at how the referee awarded the yellow card to Karim Bassett. A player with a defender hitting his keeper, and the opponent was at his back. So we are holding a yellow card to the defender that was trying to cover his. I can't understand it. So how do you expect all the other players to perform better? A little contact like this is foul. How the match at that very day, the common yellow card was not awarded to the Moroccan players. You know how many yellow cards the Nigerian players are being given that very day. So it killed their morals. So that I can't blame the players. And aside from that, I want the Nigerian or the NFL to retain our coach. Because I can see the kind of understanding between the coach and the player.
Thank you very much for your contribution. NFF, retain Eric Chell. That's the message coming. Nigerians are saying it's been a long time they've seen them play like this. We want to be realistic. Under Pepe Guavon, those 3 group stage matches were we not dominant and playing fluent attacking football.
And when we jammed Tunisia, what happened?
Is that not what the same thing that happened when we jammed Morocco?
No, we were talking about.
Let's just do that. Let's talk about other things. And quickly, let's talk about Oliver Glasner. Today, he told us, the report came out and said this man will be leaving at the end of the season, be leaving Crystal Palace. You know what that means? A club is looking for a manager at the end of the season. Some coaches have been tagged to that club. But Oliver Glasner, would you take him at Manchester United come the end of the season? Do you think he's going to do a good job, the Crystal Palace manager?
If I were in a position to recommend a coach for Manchester United, I think my top 3 coaches, I will find a way to actually slot in Oliver Glasner in there, because what I've seen at Crystal Palace, I think he has done well. Yes, managing a team, a stable team in the Premier League, and for the first time winning them a trophy in about 80 years, and making them play one of the best football in their categories. I think that's actually a good coach in there. And if you look at his history coming from Frankfurt to
I think what the Europa League with Frankfurt.
Yes, to Crystal Palace, I think his record speaks for him. And of course, if you are going to make that bold step, you just have to make a shout at Manchester United. And the only problem I will have with him, even if he's appointed at the end of the day, is will Manchester United hierarchy be patient enough for him to get this team moving forward? Because of course, at Manchester United, I do not think it is something that any coach can come in and settle all of the problems at once. Even if you are getting a certain Pep Guardiola, you just have to give him the atmosphere to operate the way he wants to operate. I do not know what Manchester United have told him. I do not even know if Manchester United are the ones speaking to him at the moment. But then I feel if he goes to Manchester United, it should be a perfect marriage for both parties, only if Manchester United will allow him to actually function as he wants.
Tamilola, I've spoken to some people who think otherwise. Who said this man also played 3 at the back. The same thing that Amorim brought, and it's not Manchester United's DNA. It is not in their history. It's not something they want to wake up and remember again for anyhow the coach is.
I think the major thing is for the club to actually give the coach a free hand, like you are free to work, operate,
and to also play 3 at the back.
If that's the solution he's bringing,
you think Barca will allow you play 3 at the back?
When Guardiola got to Manchester City, he actually disposed a lot of players just to bring his ideology.
And he played 3 at the back.
Just to bring his ideology.
He at the back at Manchester City.
He told them your best player here. I don't want your best player.
He played it as Manchester City.
At Barca?
Because the players are available at Barcelona. You cannot even think of playing 3 at the back.
Barcelona tradition is still working with them.
That's what I'm saying.
So
everything
something is not working
like that. Don't let us compare teams. We compare teams that they are a bit similar. United has a tradition. Yes, they might be falling off right now, but we know that that's happening to them. But this is a club known for what the man has done, Sir Alex Ferguson. And that has been their tradition over the years.
And that's one of
the same thing to Barca. That was why I brought out Barca. So this man is also playing 3 at the back. Are you picking him ahead of Thomas Tuchel and Roberto De Zerbi in the summer? Let's say the 3 of them are available.
Manchester United are looking for somebody that will come and win them trophies. But to correct what is on ground, because the issue on ground is not just about the players, not just about the result. I think it's more than just what we see on the pitch.
So you pick him ahead of Deserbi and
if it's about winning trophies, I think Tuchel will be the best option because he has been tested and he's proven over the years that he's a winner.
But this one too has won trophies now.
But you cannot put him in the same category as Tuchel, so that is well established. But then I think if they are looking at the culture, if they are looking at how to restore the culture of the team, how your team and win, I think Oliver Glasner will be the better
with 3 at the back.
Of course, it doesn't matter what you play at the time. Ateta was playing 3 at the back at Arsenal.
We know.
And the history at Arsenal was always 4-4-2.
We know that Ateta is playing 3 at the back at that moment.
That's my point.
We know that Pep Guardiola was playing 3 at the back at that moment. Since I have known Oliver Glasner, just like Ruben Amorim, even at Eintracht Frankfurt.
But you cannot compare the quality in the teams he has managed with that of Barcelona and Manchester City.
What I'm saying is that he has always been playing 3 at the back.
If he actually wants to,
and this is something Amorim also. They said they told him.
And didn't work.
They said they told him. He said he can be flexible.
It didn't work.
But at the end of the day, Baba was not flexible. This one at Crystal Palace, at everywhere we have known him, is always 3 at the back. Are we sure he can play 4?
We can look at that the quality of the team.
3-man defense.
And he got Madrid. He started playing.
And what happened?
Although exactly.
Let's leave that to the listener. You can share your contribution to the Manchester United fan. Would you take Oliver Glasner, even knowing that he's going to play 3 at the back, despite the fact that you know what happened with Ruben Amorim, the experiences that you have with Ruben Amorim? Let's talk about Nottingham Forest and Arsenal. It's a difficult game. It's a difficult ground.
Very, very difficult.
But Arsenal need to win.
Of course, yes. The City ground for Arsenal over the years have been a very, very tough place to visit. I mean, except last year where...
Let's take this call, please. Hello, good evening. Your name and where you're calling from?
Olawale calling from Ikirun.
Olawale from Ikirun. Good evening to you, Olawale. Quickly, share your contribution.
Good evening. You see about this United player going for Glasner. I don't think that coach can even solve their problem. City at the back cannot work for Manchester United. I'm a former Manchester United fan.
Which club are you supporting now?
I'm not a Como fan.
Milan beat Como yesterday.
Just continue.
That formation cannot work for Manchester United at all. That's what Amorim thinks. He thinks that the team will later improve.
Thank you very much.
But they later join from fire to fire.
Thank you very much. Former Manchester United fan, but still a present United fan who is thinking of jumping the ship. I think we previously had a Manchester United fan at the beginning of this season who took Real Madrid form, but was in the middle where Real Madrid was not playing well. Trying to see if Real Madrid will come back. Arsenal, can they win? Let's get our prediction. We need to leave the studio. Our time is fast spent. Can Arsenal win?
I think Arsenal win
against Nottingham Forest.
As difficult as it may seem, I think Arsenal win 2-1.
Arsenal win 2-1. Octopus.
I would go for 1-3.
1-3. Arsenal winning. Despite the fact that the guys agree that it's going to be a difficult encounter. Chelsea have a new manager. Brentford know how to beat them. They're on form.
He has always beaten them.
And
they have always beaten them.
and they face Brentford.
They have always beaten them.
And they face Brentford at Stamford Bridge. Just let's get predictions.
I think it will be a draw. It should be a draw.
You think they would? At least Chelsea fans should take this.
I think it should be a draw.
They should just do with what they have, because in the last 8 games, I think they've only won once.
Yeah, they won 1.
Who asked them to beat Barca and draw Arsenal? Ever since they
didn't draw Arsenal. They won 1-1.
Thank you very much, guys, for being a part of the show. My name is Adeyemi Adewale. Thank you very much, guys, for joining me too. Next week we're back here again, and hopefully the AFCON will have ended. We'll go back to proper talking European football and also looking at what is happening in terms of the transfer market. Good evening.
Control me, you can. Okay, you can have a little control, but I'm still in charge. I can attack any minute, but you can control for like a step.